Welcome to Nothing But Serious. The rain was a relentless percussion against the grimy windows of Elias Thorne's office, mirroring the dull ache in his temples. Detective Thorne, a man whose sharp intellect was often overshadowed by his perpetually rumpled trench coat and the dark circles beneath his eyes, preferred the quiet hum of his own thoughts to the city's cacophony. His office, a testament to organized chaos, was a sanctuary of forgotten cases and unsolved riddles. Yet, even here, the world intruded. The call had come an hour ago, slicing through the late-night quiet like a surgeon's scalpel. A homicide. Not just any homicide, but one involving Dr. Alastair Finch, the city's preeminent horologist, a man who lived and breathed time, meticulously repairing its broken mechanisms. Elias arrived at Finch's workshop, a converted Victorian townhouse nestled in a quiet, affluent district. The police tape, a garish yellow against the building's somber gray, flapped lazily in the damp breeze. Uniformed officers milled about, their faces grim, their voices hushed. Detective Inspector Harding, a man whose ambition often outpaced his intuition, met Elias at the door. "Thorne. Glad you could make it," Harding said, his tone a mix of deference and thinly veiled resentment. "This one's a real head-scratcher. Finch. Dead. And the room was locked from the inside. No forced entry, no broken windows. It's like he just stopped." Elias merely nodded, his gaze already sweeping the scene. The workshop was a marvel, a labyrinth of antique clocks, gleaming brass instruments, and countless tiny gears laid out on felt cloths. The air hummed with the faint, metallic scent of oil and old wood. Dr. Finch lay sprawled across his workbench, a magnifying loupe still clutched in his lifeless hand. A single, ornate pocket watch, his prized possession, a 17th century Chronos timepiece, was conspicuously absent from its usual velvet display cushion. "Cause of death?" Elias asked, his voice a low rumble. "Single stab wound to the heart," a forensic officer chimed in. "Clean. Professional. But no weapon found." Elias knelt beside the body, his eyes tracing the contours of the room. The workbench was pristine, save for a few scattered tools. Dust motes danced in the beam of a forensic light, undisturbed. It was too clean. Too perfect. "Locked from the inside, you said?" Elias murmured, standing up and walking towards the heavy oak door. He ran his gloved fingers over the ornate brass lock. "And no sign of tampering?" "None," Harding confirmed, puffing out his chest. "My men checked it thoroughly. It was bolted from the inside. The windows too." Finch was a paranoid old coot, had more locks than a bank vault. Elias's eyes narrowed. If no one could get in, and no one could get out, how had Finch been murdered? And where was the Chronos watch? It was a unique piece, known to be Finch's most treasured possession, a historical artifact beyond monetary value. He moved to the large, leaded glass window overlooking the manicured garden. It was latched from the inside, just as Harding had stated. But something caught his eye, a faint, almost imperceptible scratch on the sill, as if something had been dragged across it. He leaned closer, his breath fogging the glass. It was too small to be a person, perhaps a thin wire, or a string. "Anything else missing?" Elias asked, turning back to Harding. "Just the Chronos watch, as far as we can tell," Harding replied, shrugging. "Probably the motive. Someone wanted that watch." Elias paused, his gaze drifting back to the empty velvet cushion. He reached out, his fingers brushing the soft fabric. And then he saw it. A faint indentation, almost invisible, as if something had been pressed into the velvet after the watch had been removed. It wasn't the impression of the watch itself, but something else, something small and sharp. He pulled out a small, portable UV light from his kit. He scanned the cushion, then the workbench, then Finch's body. Nothing. But as he swept the light over Finch's left wrist, a faint, metallic glint caught his eye. He gasped, a sharp intake of breath that made Harding jump. There, strapped to Dr. Finch's wrist, was the Chronos watch. Harding stared, his jaw slack. But it was missing. We searched the room. It wasn't there. Elias ignored him, his mind racing. The watch was back. But how? And more importantly, when? It was impossible. The room had been secured, photographed, catalogued. No one had entered or exited. Yet, the watch, the very object believed to be the motive, had reappeared. He carefully unstrapped the watch from Finch's cold wrist. It was heavy, intricately crafted, its brass casing gleaming even in the dim light. He turned it over in his hand, his thumb brushing the smooth, cool metal. And then he saw it. Etched into the back casing, a series of symbols he didn't recognize, and beneath them, a single word. Tempus. Time. The stories we hear define us. The narratives we explore reshape us. This journey, this shared experience, is far from over. If you seek deeper insights and unvarnished perspectives through the power of narration, consider joining this community. Until next time, keep listening. Keep thinking. Keep seeking.